Hello Hornets! In this video we're going to be taking a look at the arcsine and how we find the derivative for its differentiation. So what is the formula or expression that we get to find the answer to the derivatives? Now in order to differentiate this, we're going to follow in the same steps that we did in the previous one, which means we're going to have to set this equal to y. Arcsine x. We're then going to move the arcsine or the sine over so that the sine of y equals x over 1. This is what's giving us our reference triangle that we'll be using to find our solution. So if we have y here, the arcsine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, which means that our adjacent side has to be 1 minus x squared. Alrighty, having the reference triangle out of the way, we can go ahead and we can take our derivative. We know the derivative of sine is cosine of y, and according to the chain rule, we have our dy dx. This leaves us with 1. We then divide. Dy dx is equal to 1 over the cosine of y, and when we look at the cosine of y, we have the square root of 1 minus x squared over 1. That means by direct substitution, dy dx has to be 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared. This is what we're looking for. Now, if we decide to use our u value, so let's see the arcsine of u. The only difference is we're now not going to get a 1 in our numerator, we're going to get a u prime. So we set y equal to the arcsine of u. We let sine y equal u divided by 1. This gives us our reference triangle, opposite over the hypotenuse, which means that this piece is 1 minus u squared. And now we end up getting our cosine of y dy dx when we take our derivative. Notice the chain rule, and it equals u prime. We then divide. We get u prime over the cosine of y, and when we look for the cosine of y in this, we end up getting the square root of 1 minus u squared. By direct substitution, we get our dy dx equal to u prime over the square root of 1 minus u squared. And that is how we find the differentiation for the arcsine of x or the arcsine of u. In the next video, we're going to be taking a look at the arcsine of tangent and see how that works, and hopefully you will join me for that. Thank you very much for bearing with me and your patience, and we'll be going over examples shortly. Thank you very much.